discuss the new Jurassic World global trailer. And here's JC. How you doing today?
Pretty good, man. How about
Doing
yourself?
all right, JC?
Yep.
Oh, whoops. Yeah, now I can hear you. You doing all right though?
Yeah, pretty good, man.
So I want to know, how'd you think of the new trailer? It showed a lot of information out there today, or I guess it was released a couple days ago. But
Yeah, I think it was pretty quick that they picked up on old Chris Pratt's fame off of Guardians of the Galaxy and threw him into something else immediately.
oh
But
yeah,
he was right in there. But he looks good doing the role. I think he'll be, a good action star for the movie.
I love how they start showing some humor there a little bit with it's like the dinosaurs need three things, hunt, kill, and then like he's like, it's showing a little bit of humor into it, which the original ones definitely did have some humor in it.
Yeah. He
Um,
seemed to take the place of the Jeff Goldblum character on that in that regard. I
well,
figured he'll have some of that same humor in there.
you're right on that, and it's almost a combination between the two of them. It's like you got a little bit of Sam Neill and a little bit of Jeff Goldblum going there, and it's pretty cool. I really enjoyed his take on that.
Yeah.
So, what do you think of the new dinosaurs?
I mean, they look great. As far as that's a definite upgrade from the old movies. There's a lot more color to them, and they got a little bit more creative on what they were doing with the designs there. It looked like.
Oh yeah, I want to know, what is your opinion though on, I've heard a lot of people online getting pissed off about the fact that they have these hybrid dinosaurs in a sense that they're not real dinosaurs. The Dominus Rex, for example, he has chameleon kind of features. I mean, how do you feel about them going in that direction?
Well, from what I've read about the movie, it is a continuation of the old one. So I guess if they were going to revisit that genetic, that idea that they're going to breed these things from genetic material, that it would make sense that the new breed of these things would be there would be some hybrid action in there. That they would be looking to see if they could create new dinosaurs out of this instead of just the same old thing. So
Oh
this
yeah,
is the
and
second run at it.
yeah, and I think the one key point that they kind of make with it is that this has been an existing park. So with the original Jurassic Park, we had it, it wasn't even open yet. And this one's been existing for, who knows how many years. They really haven't said yet, but I assume they'll tell us in the movie. But I think the whole thing is that everybody's bored with dinosaurs already. They're living in a world where you can go see a T-Rex feed or the Mosasaurus eat a great white shark. And
Right.
I think that's pretty cool. But what do you think of the aesthetics and everything of the new park? I mean, it looks a little cleaner.
The underwater tank is definitely cool. I mean, that thing is huge. The creature that they've got living in there is definitely going to be an awesome. It's going to be an eye catcher. Everybody's going to love that thing. I think.
And I'm
It's like
wondering
streaming on
where they're.
steroids.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny because there was that reference in the first trailer that it had Steven Spielberg's name, and then it showed the great white shark, almost a homage to Jaws back in the
Jaws.
day.
Yep.
Yeah, and they finally show it on the underwater level. Like in the beginning trailers, you see the above the tank, him eating the thing, and finally you see that there's like an underwater kind of viewing tank. So I'm wondering if maybe we'll see an escape happen
Yeah, I
with
don't know.
the
They show him
mosasaurs.
at the end of the clip there. They show him, jumping up and getting that pterodactyl, and so that's above water. And we know this is. I suppose this is still happening on the Isle of Nublar. So I'm assuming they're surrounded by water to some degree. So there's always a
Yeah, it's
possibility
on.
he can get out of that thing.
Yeah, it's definitely on one of the islands because there's 5 islands of death that surround it or whatever they call it. But I'm really getting stoked for it, and especially this trailer. It finally started showing the action with the first teaser trailer they showed. It really was almost like a advertisement for Jurassic World, and now they're kind of showing the breakouts and all the bad stuff that's happening. And
Yeah.
I'm getting stoked about it. But so was there anything that like stood out to you in the new trailer that just was like awesome?
I saw when he rode the motorcycle along with the raptors. I couldn't help but think, "Oh, look, Dances with Raptors."
Oh, I'm excited because he's actually training the raptors, I guess, in a way. It's interesting to see that kind of take on it.
I think he made,
They're kind of like
almost
hunting
like the guy
wolves.
that lives with wolves. The TV show they had about the guy that lives with the wolves and whatnot. Like I get the
Yeah.
feeling that he's going to develop a relationship with the Raptors, like they're going to respect him as one of them or something. So
Oh,
yeah,
and
that looks interesting.
coming from the actual information about the movie, they actually have the raptors have names. One's Alpha, one's named Charlie, and one's named Blue, I think. So there's this personification of these dinosaurs to an extent that we never saw in the past. So in the past, they're just T-Rex, Velociraptor. They're the killers. So it's kind of cool to see that there's a personification with that. Maybe they're more like pets in a way.
Maybe that's a genetic change that they made in them when they remade the new breed of raptors. That they found a way to make them a little bit less, violent towards man.
Yeah.
It's almost like a domesticated dog from the old wolf. That they figured out a way to do that somehow. So maybe that's
Yeah, exactly. And if you remember in the first movie, there's a scene when the Velociraptor hatches from the egg, and Doctor Wu, or or not Doctor Hammond, Mister Hammond, he's talking about how he likes to be there for when the Velociraptors hatch because
right.
they imprint on him as like their mother or father figure. So maybe it's a possibility that Chris Pratt's character was there for the birth of these raptors and has this kind of imprint with them.
Maybe
But
so.
and Doctor Wu's back. I'm stoked to see that Doctor Wu's back and get some of the original characters. Obviously, David Attenborough, that was the guy's Hammond, is passed away.
Right.
Sadly, rest in peace. But they showed some images. They showed like statues of Hammond. So I assume we'll get some information about what happened between the last incident. I guess it's Jurassic Park 3, even though I like to forget that didn't happen because that movie was terrible. But hopefully we'll see what happened between those two movies because it's been a while. It's I guess that came out early 2000s, and
Yeah.
so there's been about 10 or so years between the last movie. So it's kind of crazy to see that it's advanced that far. But I'm. Are you stoked to see it? Do you think it's going to be a good movie?
Yeah, I think Well, the CGI that's out now, like Star Wars has looked amazing. I don't know if you've also seen the Battlefront game
Oh
trailer and
yeah,
whatnot. All of the CGI that's out there looks wicked. The cell shading, the pixels, the definition that they're getting out of those things now is light years from where it was in 2000, for sure. So it's going to be
yeah.
on that front. It's interesting to. I'm going to be real watchful about when there's a lot of scenes where they're real close to the dinosaurs, and I want to see the shadows of humans moving across the image of the dinosaur. So you've got
Yeah.
this computer generated image, and I want to see the real time shadow of a human being move across this computer generated image of the dinosaur, and see how detailed they've gotten with making these things look like they're really standing there with these dinosaurs.
Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned that because when the first trailer was released, a lot of people actually were like complaining about the CGI. And what a lot of people don't know is some of those original teasers they released, they haven't finished all the CG on it. So
Sure.
yeah, I'm hoping that as we get closer and closer to the release date, that the CGI is cleaned up. And
Right.
but I also think they're going to be using some animatronics and stuff in this, so I don't think it's all going to be CGI. But
Right.
I guess from what we've seen, it's kind of looked like it's all CGI.
I
But
think
like you
I
said,
think a lot of that lab stuff is going to be the animatronics, like whatever's happening inside the lab. Like I know that they did that in the original movies too. A lot of the babies hatching and things like that, they were all little animatronic dinosaurs and
yeah,
whatnot over CGI. So they'll probably stick with that. But I know, with this being, I'm sure that they're using some of the same technology that went into. Did you see Hero 6 when it
yeah,
came out?
yeah, I loved it.
Dude, the new engine that they're using to draw this stuff in computers is, I mean, it is insane. how much more depth they're able to get out of those images. So, whereas the stuff that came out in 2000 with Jurassic Park and some of the other, I can't think anything off the top of my head, but I know that spawned like this generation. It was almost within 2 years that Sci-Fi Channel was releasing stuff that was on par with that. And then that became the norm to where people were kind of, man, I don't want, another CGI movie. And they got kind of disinterested and stuff like that. So it's light years past that now. We should have a really good movie. It should look really realistic. And like I said, the colors on the dinosaur, you can tell that they got more into designing these things because even the velociraptors looked amazingly different. On the color scheme that they laid over the skin of those animals, it's wicked looking.
Oh yeah, it's I will say they've got that design on par, and I mean even their website design. They've been pumping out a lot of viral marketing stuff. Their whole website is designed to look like a real theme park. Mm-hmm. So they're putting a lot of money into this project, and I'm interested to see. I'm hoping that it turns out as one of the. I hope it makes me like it better than the original one. Obviously that's probably not going to happen, but I've got my heart set on this movie. It's going to be good. Is there any other parts of the trailer that you thought stuck out to you?
I will say, miss David Attenborough being a part of the project and whatnot, but I guess if I'm going to have to trade in Colonel Sanders, I'll take the hot and spicy red-headed doctor instead. That's a pretty nice upgrade. So
she is pretty hot. I'll say that. You also got the kids, which I've heard a lot of people worried about the kids because they kind of seem annoying from the trailer. But I also said to them, were the kids in Jurassic Park, the original one, not already kind of annoying anyway? Dr. Grant coming in. So we'll see what happens with those kids because you see them getting in that little gyro spear thing, attacked by I guess it's the Indominus Rex. I'm not quite sure. Yeah. But I will say it's going to be action packed, and I definitely think that it's going to be a good movie. And well, I guess that wraps up that little trailer, and I just want to thank JC for coming out and talking some Jurassic World with us. He's also JC runs Arkham, the Lost Interrogations. I'll have a link on here. Go check out his YouTube. He makes awesome YouTube series.
And any shout out, by the way, go with the generic name instead of Arkham.
Asylum. Sorry, Asylum. Yes.
Yeah, Asylum, the Lost Interrogations, and we're part of Sun and Moon Studios, is the parent network that hosts Lucky Kings, who does Asylum.
And yes, this guy's Asylum. Mark that out, but we'll edit that out. But yeah, thank you for coming by, and check out Joncast Community, and have a great day, guys.
Absolutely.